Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Here we are, Tennessee sitting at 4-0, big time win over Florida. Top 10 for the first time since 2016, ranked the highest. Listen to this, guys. Tennessee is ranked the highest they have been ranked since 2006. I mean, we're going on almost 20 years at this point. Tennessee is sitting pretty, right? You would think so, but some people out there watch that win over Florida and they come out saying, this secondary is trash. They're not good enough. We're not good enough. We barely beat Pitt. We barely beat Florida. You fail to rewind and look where we were at just a little under 2 years ago. When Jeremy Pruitt was fired, Tennessee was at absolute rock bottom. We're talking about 5 to 6 year rebuild, but Josh Heupel in less than a year and a half has us sitting inside the top 10. Going into the bye week, big-time game coming up against LSU on the road, but some of this fan base still is not satisfied, and I get it. There's nothing wrong with pointing out criticisms or things that this football team needs to work on, but the bottom line is when you've got a quarterback like Hendon Hooker, when your offense is firing on all cylinders like this offense is right now, we were without Cedric Tillman in that Florida game. I talked about it all week leading up to the game, how Hendon Hooker needed to put this football team on his back, go out and absolutely dominate and carry this team to victory, and that's exactly what he did, throwing for 350 yards, accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. When you've got an offense as dynamic as this offense, you can compete with any team in the country. That includes Georgia, and that includes Alabama. I'm going to take a listen to some of the comments that Josh Pate made last night on his show that kind of go hand in hand with what I've been preaching since the post-game show on Saturday. But before we do that, as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you, for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Had a fun live stream this morning, Monday morning show with Gabriel. Go back, check that out. A really good conversation. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll also be live tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, late night Talkin VAWLS fan call-in show where you, the listener, has an opportunity to come on the show. Let's jump in and let's take a listen to these comments from Josh Pate. And again, going back to coming out of the Florida game, Tennessee being ranked 8th, Tennessee 4-0. They've taken care of business. It's not always been pretty, but the bottom line is when you play a team like Florida and you don't bring your A game and you still get out with a win, let's celebrate. Let's be happy with that. The shoe's kind of on the other foot. Florida's making excuses. Florida is taking the moral victory. It's a beautiful thing. Let's hear what Josh Pate had to say coming off of this big-time win against the Gators on Saturday.
I saw and heard a lot of people after this game saying you can't beat BAMA, you can't beat Georgia with that secondary. College football teams are not kitchen appliances. These are not units where if one little thing's wrong, none of the machine can function. It's not a toaster. It's not a microwave, okay? College football teams have strengths, they have weaknesses, and the million-dollar question every year is how much can your strengths make up for or mask some of your weaknesses? Now, you can't have terminal flaws, but some teams like Tennessee know they could show up and score 40 any given Saturday. And so there is the opportunity for your secondary to struggle like they did yesterday. And
that's exactly what happened against the Gators. In the post-game show, I talked about having this eerie confidence. I had this strange confidence, especially, you talk about battered Vol syndrome, and it's real. It's a real thing. You watch a game, and it's like, oh, here we go again, and it started to creep up late in the game when Florida converted the onside kick. You're sitting there thinking, here we go again, Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee's going to Tennessee. We're going to lose this game. But I had that confidence because the offense, even though, you had a couple of turnovers, you didn't punt the football the entire game. 0 punts the entire game. The only time you were stopped was when you beat yourself by putting the ball on the ground or you went for it on 4th down late in the game and got stopped. That's the only time that Tennessee was stopped the entire game. I had that confidence that Hendon Hooker was going to go out and do what he does, and that's why Tennessee can play with any team in the country. We talk about the LSU game coming up. Can Tennessee stop them? I don't know, but can anybody out there really stop Tennessee? Got one of the best offenses in the country. I saw a poster over on VolQuest, collected some stats. Shout out to this guy, Rice Trout, probably not a listener of the show. But I want to give him credit for putting this together. Tennessee's offense, 3rd in the nation in completion percentage, 2nd in passing yards per game, 1st in yards per game, 8th in yards per play, 11th in first downs per game, 4th in shortest time per play, 20.2 seconds, tied for 1st in red zone efficiency, 13th in percentage of red zone trips resulting in a touchdown, 86% of the trips to the red zone result in a touchdown, 8th in passing yards per completion. How crazy is that? 8th in passing yards per completion, 15.24 yards per completion. And then you go look at Hendon Hooker's completion percentage, his efficiency, but yet you're 8th in passing yards per completion? That's unheard of. One of 6 teams who have 0 interceptions through 4 games. 6th in rushing touchdowns. 4th in points per game at 48.5. Again, that's Rice Trout over on VAWLS. Thought that was some interesting numbers. Interesting numbers, particularly the average per completion when Hendon Hooker is so efficient, so accurate, but they're throwing the ball down the field. Let's hear more from Josh Pate about this Tennessee versus Georgia and Alabama.
And you still win a football game against a team that's playing at a high level, like Florida. And if you lack in one area and you can make up for it in another, yeah, you can beat whoever you put in that blank. I'll look at BAMA coming in there in a few weeks. They still got to play LSU. They've got a lot of football left, but I know that they've got to play BAMA. Man, if they throw the ball like they're capable of, they can hang with Alabama, especially on the road. What's BAMA been on the road the last couple of years, by the way? We'll find that out again this Saturday. Secondly, I don't know that we've even seen anyone capable of throwing the ball on Georgia. Week 1 is probably the result that you would point to, but man, Oregon was a no-show there, due in large part because of Georgia. My point is, these games happen in the future. You got weaknesses? Yeah. You got strengths too. So use your strengths to mask your weaknesses.
Great words from Josh Pate there, just kind of reiterating what we talked about in the postgame show. But the bottom line is this. Tennessee didn't play perfect against Pitt. Their defense looked good. I love the aggressiveness. I would like to see Tim Banks go to that style of defense. Felt like they were way too conservative against Florida. But Tennessee didn't play their best game. They gave Pitt every opportunity in the world to steal that game. But guess what? Tennessee came away with a big-time win on the road against a top-ranked Pitt team. Fast forward 2 weeks, Florida. Inside Neyland Stadium, Florida played their best game of the year. Florida brought their A game. Anthony Richardson, hands down, played the best game of his career. Best game of his career. And guess what? It wasn't good enough when you've got Hendon Hooker on your side. We talked this morning, myself and Gabriel in the morning show. We talked about whether or not Hendon Hooker should have an opportunity to go win a Heisman. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a whole lot of work to do, and it starts in less than 2 weeks on the road at LSU. Florida's in the rearview mirror. Big-time win. Great win for this football program. But now we move on. LSU is next. Go take care of business when you look at the schedule the rest of the way. I think 8-4 is the floor at this point. I think you've got to get to 8 wins. We talked about how crucial going 4-0 was in September if you wanted to get to 8 wins, 9 wins. LSU on the road's a tough game. Alabama, Georgia, those are always going to be tough games. Kentucky's going to be a toss-up. What do you guys think? I think the floor is 8 wins. You got to go get 8 after coming out of September at 4-0. But what do you guys think? Tennessee can't beat Georgia or Alabama? I disagree. Let's carry the fight to Georgia. Let's carry the fight to Alabama, LSU, Kentucky. Let's keep it there for 60 minutes, and let's go take care of business in year 2, guys. Just year 2 of the Josh Heupel era. Don't forget where we were at just less than 2 years ago. I would love to hear your comments on this. As always, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. We got the limited edition Buck Fama shirt. If you want it, you better get it. Going to be gone soon. We've also got the Old Faithfuls mustard shirts, Talkin' VAWLS Elite. But any and all support is greatly appreciated. A lot of you starting to join the channel, which we appreciate that support as well. If you want to give as little as 99 cents a month, we're on our way. We are on our way to 16,000 subscribers. We're already a fourth of the way there. We just hit 15. Let's go get 16. Tell somebody about Talkin' VAWLS. But there is strength in numbers. If you can give $1, $1 a month, we would appreciate it. Hit that join button down below. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.